So now we're going to move on to the front view, and this is video number 6. And over here, the tricky part here is if we want to design a front view, it'd be best if you picked one of your designs from your cockpit and try to match it with the front view. That way, when you put these two images side by side, the controls on the armrest, for example, need to be able to match up with this front view as well as the joystick here in the middle. Whereas when I did the perspective thing, I put the joystick up on the side here. It's gonna have to go up in the middle now. Other than that, whatever readouts you have for the front of the cockpit, that will have to also be at least sketched out, if not completely, designed one for one. Although later on, when we move on to like a more polished state, like when we bring this to color, I would like us to do some, make some really nice, UI stuff for this view. Right now, we're just concerned mostly with the design, the layout, the general idea of it. So as long as we can communicate the idea, I think we're golden. All right, so I'm gonna now draw on top of this and try to match it to my first cockpit idea over here, to the best of my ability here. I might not nail it, but basically you just lower the opacity here as well as on your little perspective sketch there. You want to lower the opacity. Choose on that layer and then lower the opacity. Next, you make a new layer, and the guides that I have here in the middle there, I want to hide them, so I hit Control H. That way it won't interfere with my drawing when I go to draw this thing out. So the first thing what I want to do is I want to make sure that my armrests are going to match up against my design over here on the right. So I'm just gonna quickly sketch it out. I'm thinking, okay, so on that arm, it'll probably be a little bit wider, about twice as wide as how I currently have it. Probably to about there, right? So let me erase that part. And it'll be something like this, right? Where it's two of these, I don't know what you call them, prongs, I guess, I don't know. And then we'll have something that kind of pops up like this as well. You could see I'm drawing the slots in now, and I'm going to continue the prong down like that. See how I'm drawing that? Put the prong down. Right, something like that. Okay? And then we're going to have to draw, let's see, probably match whatever this first person view is here. And it actually sticks forward a little bit further, so just a little bit, to the point where we can do that, and then it comes down, and then on the inside of the seat here, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have this sort of arch pop out a little bit, and then go straight down. Pop out, go straight down. Gonna erase that way till I see this. B running straight down like that. And then the chair, I don't know. We don't even have to draw the chair, I don't think, but it'll probably overlap this thing a bit because it's a soft cushion. Something like that. Alright, and then yeah, this comes back. I remembered, yeah, we put in these little buttons here, so let's include them in this drawing. And I did 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's like 2, 3, 4, maybe something like that. And it doesn't go up, but instead what we'll have is probably some screens over here, and what we can do is maybe our screens are diagonal a little bit, even though I didn't really do it there. Might be better if, so this is the tricky part, right? Like, you know, it's like, oh, if I have an idea, I gotta make sure I go back maybe and change it later, but if I have this as a diagonal, that might actually work out a little nicer. And that front one I did change, remember, to make it like this. So I'm just gonna cut this piece out, erase away. And then there'd be a circle right here. Something like that. And then it goes into whatever this window is. This window piece is, which will be about, it's like this, and then up to about there, and then goes back somewhere. So that's the idea. And then we kind of draw thickness on these, on the side window here. Something like that. Okay. On the other arm, it'll just be an armrest, and not so much with the I'm not gonna have the joystick there. So just drawing in these rectangles. It would be like that, but I put in like a little downward diagonal thing. And then here's the armrest. And I'm gonna, like over here on the right, I'm gonna put in a little space, and we're gonna do the same thing again. Gonna have like a little diagonal piece, and then come out to about there. If you have trouble drawing in the straight lines, that's fine. You can also use the line tool, you know, like we did before. Just make sure it's not set on path, but instead it's set on pixels. And sometimes I'll come back in later and correct my lines, and that's, you know, that's how I do the cleanup side of it. But right now I just wanted to make sure that we have these things. So if this went across, it kind of touches that spot. So then from here we I something like that. I'm missing that little corner, but it's fine. Let's just do this for now. I'm holding down, whenever I draw up and down, I'm holding down shift, right? That's how you get the perfect horizontal. It's all these lines going into Z space that are giving me trouble where I'm having to draw it in by hand. So then maybe the ceiling isn't just flat like how I've indicated here. I think I need yet another, diagonal up, and then there's the ceiling here. So, and I like how the idea of it coming forward again like that. So maybe there's like a diagonal aspect of the ceiling, and then this part comes forward. That's kind of fun. Okay, let's see. And then of course we've got our front of our glass thing. Let me see here. How would that come together? We could probably, I'm looking at this and seeing how it kind of has this like nice curvature to it. Maybe we can do that. I'm not sure. Maybe like that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And so we've got these little readout things like that. I'm looking at that reference for inspiration for sure. And maybe even like, we can do a thing where it's like that almost. But really important. So for our design here, we put the joystick thing in the middle, and it's almost serendipitous that I actually did put in a middle piece here of sorts. And this is where we'll be able to mount a joystick or something, right? And remember, we drew it like with the cylinder here, and then there's like a side thing here, and there's it's kind of like that. And then maybe we'll have like more buttons and such here. And of course I drew this thing too big. Shrink it down. Shrink it down. I make mistakes. I don't get it all right on the first try. Something like that. Alright, let's continue. I think it's still a little bit too large, but I'm going to raise it up a little so I can, enter. Just going to cut that part out. Now continue drawing. like that. And then a bit of thickness, and then another one over here. And this goes off into perspective, probably until it connects to this screen here. Cool. And now we figure out what's on the display. Now, knowing that the joystick would be here, we probably don't want any displays to be right in the middle right there. So we got to kind of work around it at this point, right? And I'm looking at this thing on the left here, so perhaps it might be good to have a circle up on the upper left, I mean. I'm just drawing this loosely. I could fix it later. I'll show you how to actually, let me show you now. Over here you've got this elliptical marquee tool. You just make a circle by holding down Shift when you make that circle. Go to edit, go to stroke, and then you go inside. There you go. Makes a perfect circle, right? So now we can kind of work our display around that. So let me go with the thinner. I'm going to draw like a thinner line here. That. Maybe there's I don't know. This one's still fine, so I'm gonna try to avoid making my screens completely square. I'm gonna try and make the screens a little bit more interesting. So like even if I did say a rectangle right here, I want to do a little something there so that we've got a more interesting sci-fi shape. And then maybe that almost like a jigsaw puzzle kind of fits into this now. Okay, and we could do the same thing here, maybe going up from the bottom like that, you know. Maybe there's some switches here, like buttons and such. That's where my squares will be, on the buttons. And then maybe a circle one right here. That's not to say we don't want anything down here, but whatever's going to be over here, it's going to have to take a back seat as far as importance. Yeah, I'm not sure what it would be. I know, it could be like some kind of an intercom system or something, or I don't know, some kind of a, you know what it could just be? Here, I got it. Like it just kind of raises up, you know, right there. Sci-fi. And then make this one kind of do the same thing as the left side here. I'm trying to avoid complete 90 degrees. I'm going to try to put a little sci-fi diagonal in there when I can. Little buttons down here, little switches that maybe glow. That might be kind of fun. This one will definitely be some kind of a readout, kind of like this radar thing up above this guy's head right here, right? So it'll be like several rings. Let's hit Control J, shrink it. No, wait, hold on. I think it's like, no, not Control. You want to hold down Alt. Yeah, you hold down Alt, and then you get Control J, and then Control T to transform. Hold down Alt, and I get these concentric rings, which is good. One last time. And then I'm just going to merge these down by hitting Control E. Yeah, so now I've got my little readout thing there, and there's some kind of a pinging, bing, sonar thing, right? I do like how they've got a display of like whatever vehicle mode thing this is in, right? So let's just say, like, right now, I don't even know what the design of my vehicle is, so I'm just going to make some thing up. Again, it will be actually designed later. That is for future me to worry about. Right now, I just need something in there that kind of looks like that thing. All right. Something like that. And then, I know exactly what this is now. This is the thing that I plug my key into. The sort of like mech, fig. Here, I'll make it like almost like a transformer logo. Right. So this, I'm just gonna put in something that resembles a locking mechanism, maybe. But basically, this is where you plug in your something like that. And if you put a dot in the middle, it looks like an eye. So I kind of don't like that. But if I put maybe that there, that might be okay. Putting a little bit more work into this because this is kind of this would be important to a story, right? Once you plug in whatever belongs here. So Yeah, like that, maybe. And let's see. Yeah, we don't have a thing here, but what I can do is I can just indicate something there. Maybe a series of vertical lines. Like it's a like it's a communicator or something. Or maybe, I don't know. It's like an air vent. It gets hot in here. No, I don't know. There you go. It just can't be like something that is life and death if you don't read it. So even though the middle square, maybe the outside could be a little bit more interesting, like this kind of H shape. Not sure. This is like a important button of some sort. I don't know. Let's see what else. I like having the robot here because then that kind of indicates like, you got, I don't know, readouts and damage, or pay attention to this part of me right now, that kind of thing. Right. It's kind of fun. And then because I've got this circle here, I kind of need to redesign my original idea to incorporate that circular design better into that. Not even sure if this thing on the left is needed. I just kind of had a little extra thing there, but could. Again, I'm trying to avoid blocks if possible. Another circle? Yeah, why not? Another circle here. And then little how about that? Something like that, maybe. So what this will indicate is like maybe this is what they call diegetic UI, where maybe your health bar is here in the world as opposed to like on a holographic readout or something. It's actually yeah, so this will be a nice little indicator. Maybe something with numbers here. Oh, maybe this is like an ammo counter. Like 0, 5. Might want to reload. Right. This is like a lot of the world building is able to be created just within this panel alone. At some point, somebody's gonna have to think about these things. If you, as the designer of this thing, can actually help them come up with ideas along the way, this is key, right? I don't know what would be on display here. Probably some kind of maybe a random string of something or other. I'm not sure. User. And then this will be maybe another circle. And yeah, let's not repeat the sonar radar thing on our circle over here. Maybe this one is more just I don't know, like maybe another number. Let's just make it 100. Like that. I kind of like how they just stuck a big old cylinder right there. I think I'm gonna steal that. Like eventually it's just like, enough with the computer screens. I just want a big old cylinder right there for some reason. Like that. And then from here, let's draw in the perspective. So it'll look something like this as it kind of crosses over here. That'll be a line that lines up with that. Kind of like how this is here, and then like that. I don't know, keep it there. It's just a little light or something, I'm not sure. And then this somehow connects. I'm not entirely sure how it will connect, but you know what? Let's put a little cable here. Because I already indicated this is a world where these type of cables exist in, right? And then of course something metal back here that connects it. but I like having a bit of an organic shape right there. And then whatever's behind here, let's keep it dark and not interesting. Let's see here. Over here, as far as there's a spot right here where on our character we could potentially see like some indicator. I'm not entirely sure what, but that might be kind of fun. Like having a little display screen down there. Right. All right, now let's look at that armrest again. There's like a little rectangle there with some buttons and a little rectangle here, and then we've got this thing right here. Something like that, right? And I'm not sure what's on this display screen, but whatever it is probably kind of important. I like the idea of maybe utilizing this this curve as a meter of some sort, like a doot 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 doot. I just know the noise it makes. I don't know what it does. Yeah. And then maybe some readouts or something. Let's see here. Anything else I could put in? There's some overhead stuff here that they have that's indicated. They're fun. I can probably use those in the design. Something like that. And there'd be numbers, and then I don't know what would be here. Could put event somewhere. Or some kind of like a Back to the Future flux capacitor. Will you get sued for it? That's the question. Or is it off the screen? Will anybody ever notice? A lot of times I'll put a little border around these things too, to kind of indicate like this piece will have to attach to that piece. You know? And I think that's pretty good for now. There could always be more screen. There could always be more screens on this thing, but I'm not sure what exactly would be on them that would be important to us. But this is the stuff that really helps ground us in this world, right? Little readouts and little thingamabobs like circles and weird geometric shapes that look like a graph. Like that, right? And then, like I did with the sketch before, I am going to take this color and I'm going to paint. Come on. Paint underneath my line drawings, right? It's pretty fun. Yeah, maybe the front of this is a lot more open, kind of like that Milano ship on Guardians of the Galaxy there. Kind of like that. That, and then of course fill it in. By the way, what's cool is once I've kind of drawn out these little display things, I always reuse them for other purposes in the second and third design. You know, I could probably, because they're like small, like what we call greebly detail. They're not the big shapes. I want the things that I wanted different would be the big shapes, right? But as far as like little details like this to kind of make it feel more real, the first one's always going to take longer because we have to come up with those. But once you have, it's fairly, fairly straightforward from there. It's pretty cool actually. I like this design. I can of course cut out the sides so that we can understand where it kind of ends, but overall pretty nice as far as a you could really picture yourself playing this as a game, right? So I dig it. It's kind of fun actually. Feel like I'm in a real spaceship now. Cool. With these, I would also want you to come up with three different three different sort of front view things and make them match one of each one of your three designs on your perspective cockpit thing. So my second one later would be a more cute one, I guess, and because these have more round shapes to them, maybe there'd be more round shapes on screens and displays and mechanisms on here as well. So that's what I'm looking for the homework. 3 of these that match up with 3 of these, or vice versa, 3 of these that match up with 3 of these, right? and I look forward to seeing your designs. All right, and that's it.